Thank you everyone for coming and welcome to LendInvest. It's great to have so many of you here today. It's quite daunting for us. This is our first design meetup we're hosting, so hope you enjoy it. As Daisy said, I'm Alice. I'm the product designer here at LendInvest, and my colleague.
Hello, my name is Mark and I'm a front-end engineer here.
So we're here today to talk to you about the design of collaboration. So how do we design for collaboration? We identified 3 fundamentals: the business, team, and people. The business provides a base for designing for collaboration. With the business and the goals, you can have something to aim towards. Without them, you won't know where you're going. Through good leadership, promoting these clear goals, and strategy, we're motivated to work together to achieve them. It creates an understanding of how we can contribute to the business's success. With our product and engineering team here at LendInvest, we have people dedicated to promoting these values. We have our CTO, who is here to make sure we all work together and know the company vision with every project we work on. We have a design strategist. He contributes to our development and communication of different principles throughout the company. That's not just within product and tech, that's throughout the whole departments. So among them, and among others, they all play an important part in encouraging a company-wide understanding, which provides a purpose across all the teams. With the purpose and clear goals, teams will be motivated to work together. A collaborative team creates a nurturing environment. How we work together can determine the success or failure of a project. So how have we designed for collaboration within the product and engineering team here? First of all, we don't work alone. We overshare with our team. We engage each other in our work and make ourselves very approachable. We work without fear. We help each other. We don't mind getting things wrong. Everyone does it. It's how we learn and how we grow. We're curious. We want to know what our other colleagues are doing, what projects they're working on, and the different domains in which they work. We want to ask questions and expand our own knowledge. Placing these elements into the design of collaboration, it's created a nurturing environment and allows exploration of ideas and appreciation of the people within our team.
So having all of that in mind, we move towards the third principle of collaboration, unquestionably the most important one, us, the people. So when we started working on this presentation, I remembered watching this awesome TED Talk by Professor Linda Hill. In it, she was telling us a story of her research into the most collaborative and innovative companies in the world, like Pixar or Google. She discovered that at the heart of innovation is a paradox. You have to unleash the talents and passions of many people, and you have to harness them into work that is actually useful. And later she discovered that all these companies have one thing in common. Instead of focusing on middle grounds and compromises, they actually aimed for opening to as many opinions as possible, no matter how diverse, different, and extreme they were. But the key point to them was that they had to be voiced in a safe and respectful manner. So following Professor Hill's research, we started looking into the quality of collaboration and innovation. And in our mind, we believe that there are 3 matters that are required to achieve high quality of it. So the first one, perhaps the most obvious one, is connected disciplines. And yourselves as designers, consider fields like accessibility development, content writing, QA, perhaps performance engineering. Talking to someone whose job is entirely to shave off a few milliseconds of a loading time of your application opens up your world to concept like perceived performance, and that can lead to dramatically changing understanding of user journey and user experiences. Looking one step further, try to understand the world around you. This gives you a crazy powerful tool of using parallels that you would not consider in the past. Thinking outside of the box, and this can be easily achieved by, attending workshops, watching lectures, TED lectures, or going to Royal Institution of Science, for example. And finally, perhaps most importantly, it's understanding us. A couple of months ago, our colleagues organised a survey here, and one of the questions in that survey was, what's the most important thing for you at the workplace? And surprisingly, perhaps not at all, most of the people pointed out to their voice being heard and respected. And we believe that a key element that helps us here achieve this is to have diversity as one of our core values. And culture built around this visibly tightened the bonds between the team members and also reduced the friction within the teams. And after all, less time wasted on internal politics and personal wars means more time for the customers, for yourselves and the teams. So here we are, 3 principles of collaboration, and they all look great on paper, but how do they translate to reality? And we felt like we're missing something really important. So we went back to the drawing board, we started talking to people, asking questions, new and different questions. And then it hit us. So all of this is great on its own, but we kind of missed this awesome sauce link, if you will. And eventually we identified 3 links. Processes leading through tools and technology back to people.
So when looking at the design of collaboration, communication-driven processes are what bring the teams together. Now, I'm not saying fill everyone's diaries up with meetings, but have a range of meaningful sessions which promote knowledge sharing within the company. We have a range of such things here at LendInvest, one of them being our tech talks, which can range from people talking about design thinking all the way through to databases. We also have something called Brown Bag, which every Friday, company-wide, we come together for lunches. We have internal speakers from different departments talking about perhaps projects they're working on or something they want to promote across business. We also have external people come in, so this could cover topics such as physical and mental well-being. Social aspects are also an important part of our day-to-day lives. We go for coffee once a week with the whole product and engineering team, and we also have team lunches every other week or so. This is where we promote a no work talk policy. So we all chat about our daily lives, what we've been up to the weekend, and it really secures that bond between us. We have other get-togethers as well, so more social aspects across department. We have yoga, we also have code school and board games night. So let's look at this on a team level. How do we design for collaboration within our teams? At LendInvest, we divide our teams by product. I'm on the direct borrower side, and as a product designer, I work alongside a product manager, QA, and other engineers. To enhance our communication and collaboration, we have many tools or processes in which we use. So we go from our daily stand-ups to know what we're doing each day, the blockers that we've got, through to our retrospectives, which are bi-weekly get-togethers, and we discuss what we felt really happy about, what we felt okay about, and perhaps what we really didn't like in the last 2 weeks. The whole point of that is that we all get together, we work together, and we understand each other's needs and how we can improve on those points. We then go away with action points for the rest of the 2 weeks, and we review them again at the next retrospective. We also involve our stakeholders. So every week we have an update that our internal stakeholder teams can get involved. So this could be anything from our sales team, marketing, all the way through to senior management. Another thing we do is every week, as designers, we get together and facilitate a session called the WIP. This is a work in progress. We, as designers, gather everyone from marketing and front end, and we get together and talk about the visual aspect of our work. What have we been working on? What do we want feedback from? We then also encourage others to share their work. We also share ideas and any discovery we might have had during that week. It's also a good way to show some really cool stuff. So anything that can make our workflow better, we're all ears. It's a great power, as I've said, to tighten bonds, appreciation and a lot of respect between our peers.
So at the other side of our link spectrum is tooling. And I'm sure many of you assume that this talk may be covering that in depth. Don't we all love our tools? We've definitely seen a drastic change in the way we do things. So working in silos, waterfall flows are a thing of the past. We've been flooded by an incredible number of fantastic modern tooling, often oriented towards a collaboration, like InVision, Figma, or GitHub. But we have also noticed that we continuously borrowed and adapted certain methodologies or practices from between different disciplines. And a perfect example of this is yourselves as creative are equipped with a tool of critique, and developers, were mostly hoping for the best. So we took it, we saw it's good, and we reshaped it into something that is nowadays a requirement in a software development cycle: code reviews. The interesting bit happened a few years back when more and more designers working alongside developers also noticed the benefits of collaborative version control. And that's how you stole it from us and reshaped it into something called design reviews. So for the last couple of months, we've been trialing an application called Abstract that offers us a structure to such design reviews. And we have already seen that such structured peer collaboration is reducing the amount of repeated work and research, simply because different product teams are looking at each other's work in detail. And that also increases the idea sharing. People became more and more eager to do it. It became a visual QA for us. And as a side effect, it also started building trust, because you need trust for someone to catch your mistakes and regressions. And it's not just for designers. We are opening this to developers and product people in a true spirit of collaboration. But all that said, as I said before, tooling has changed quite dramatically over the last, let's say, 5 or 10 years, and we think it will speed up in the years to come. So even though we love many of these tools, we came to a very surprising conclusion. In 2015, Cameron Moll, which I'm sure many of you know of, was interviewed by an Event Apart conference. And when asked about it, he said, mastery of creation and composition is much more important than mastery of tools. So many of us thought that this talk will be about tooling, and yet the tooling occupies the smallest and the least important part of it. No matter what we say here, there's no point of being religious about your tools. We all know what happened to Flash, and this is just one platform to name. You're better off adapting, growing, replacing them as you need them. They can significantly improve and stimulate collaboration. That is very true. But they will never replace any of the fundamentals Alice and I have spoken of. So that leads us to human, back to people. The more we thought about it, it became more and more obvious that this ultimate link is mentorship. Wouldn't you agree that mentoring means teaching and influencing the fundamentals of collaboration, the fundamentals we spoke of? And this is not necessarily easy. We all have different levels of sensitivities, of egos, of experiences. At any point of our lives, we are affected by an unlimited amount of variables. So we looked at our previous workplaces. We looked at anything that we do and try to do here at LendInvest. And a small number of commonalities started to emerge, commonalities that guarantee successful mentorship in our mind. And here are some of them. So we've noticed that offering means and advice is much better than offering solutions. Assuming that someone cannot do something because it's complex or too complex, and even worse, saying that to them is the easiest way to kill someone's spirit. What's the point of that? We allow discovery as much as we allow failure. Our CTO gave a company-wide talk about it, and it was brilliant to see. Both of these things are super, super valuable as long as you show people how to build on them. Don't let people crash, but if they do, show them how to rebuild. Going one step further, be empathetic. Try your best to notice the signs of anxieties, of burnout, address overachieving and perfectionism. And this is a really complex subject. We don't have to argue about that. And it deserves definitely more than a sentence. But fortunately, there's a group of brilliant professionals that covered it much better than we ever would. And I would like to point you to two talks that I've seen over the last year, one by Denis Mishinov and one by Joe Franchetti. And you can find the links to them in the footnotes. Inspire, and that can be really anything. Time Always make sure that you find time for your peers. Give talk. I don't sound like an idiot. Own your mistakes. Super powerful. And finally, but also most importantly, call out on an appropriate behavior. Encourage to learn and grow. And this is the interesting one. We spoke to many people here, but also on other meetups like this. And we found this disturbing pattern of many companies offering this elusive 10% of your time to learn and grow, but very few companies giving that time to you. So we started pushing for it here, and every time we have interaction with a team lead or between the colleagues, you would see that they will ask you and poke you and prod you, what are you working on? What are you teaching? What are you learning? Let's do something together. We had someone 3D printing last Friday. We are a fintech company. There's literally nothing to do to 3D print in a fintech. And this is exciting. So we have to fight for it until it becomes a habit. This is an important one. Teach giving and receiving critique. Many of us are self-taught. I'm probably the worst example of this. If you don't understand how constructive criticism works, then your self-defenses will kick in, aggression will go up, your whole environment will become hostile, and anxiety levels will rise. And finally, shut up, listen and learn. We are 100% certain, based on our previous experiences and everything that we see here, that all of this contributes to a generation of trustworthy professionals, really talented professionals, work partners, perhaps even friends, definitely future mentors and drivers of collaboration.
Thank you. So how are all these principles applied to our collaboration? How do we design for it, and how has it worked or not worked? Something hopefully you can all relate to is the pattern library or design system. I imagine many of you had or have been working on something very similar. We won't go into too much depth into this, but we'll see how our design system has been affected by collaboration. So about 2 years ago, before Marek and I started at LendInvest, a website redesign sparked the creation of the design system. It started as a shared sketch file along with documentation in Trello. It eventually then became a reusable code within Storybook. Now, while this is definitely a great start, it's also a very hard thing to keep alive and scale, as I'm sure many of you know. So when we did join LendInvest, we recognised that the work on the system had plateaued somewhat. Whether this was down to resources, people not seeing it as a priority, or just not coming together with the motivation to get it maintained and updated. We also noticed that there was a big gap between what the design system said and the products that our designers and developers were producing. This was causing a lot of design debt and design tech debt, to start piling up. Marek took the direct approach with this and approached everyone in our Slack channel. Hey guys, what on earth's happening here? Why are things not correlating between each product? What can we do to fix this? Luckily, we're in an environment here where we can do that. We have some engaging, talented people. We just lack the structure and momentum to get this going. So we started treating the design system as a product itself. Our product director facilitated the collaboration through communication processes. So we have our weekly front-end guilds, we have a weekly design system catch-up and monthly prioritization where we understand where we're going, what we've done, and what we need to achieve in order to keep this going. We involve product design, marketing, and development, and it increases our collaborations and reminds ourselves the purpose and goals that we're working towards. There's a long way to go, but we know we can handle it better through these fundamentals of collaboration. And through designing the collaboration, we have seen a notable increase in the productivity, our contributions, and team collaboration. Just last week, one of our designers, she approached our developers in our Slack channel asking what they thought about uppercase in our UI. Now, it's not common for designers to ask developers a typography opinion. But that's something that happens here. We're all involved. We all want to know about our cross-domain kind of what we're working on. So looking to the future, we won't necessarily be committing loads more design work and changes to the design system, but we'll be collaborating further to discover how we contribute moving forward, how we can maintain it as a product, as well as ensuring and implementing it throughout all our other products going along.
Thank you. Yeah. So hopefully you can tell that this working on this presentation was a journey and experience, and it was definitely overwhelming at time. Apart from the fact that it's our first public speaking, we had so many things to talk about and so little time, and everything felt important. The interesting thing we saw that one by one, our colleagues started noticing our struggle, and they came to us offering their help. And that's how we found our mentor, Bob, a product director, who gave many talks in his life, so he knew exactly what we were doing wrong and how to improve it. We got Nick, a brilliant designer who took our overloaded brain dump and took it into something visually digestible that you see now. An army of collaborators, people who kept us going and motivating, but also shaped this whole thing into what you can see now. So if there's anything that you'll take from this, let it be this. Get the buy-in from the business. Shape your environment to be respectful and safe. Appreciate all these means. They are very important. But above all, celebrate the people, because without them, the collaboration will not stand a chance. Thank you.